Here is another poisonous plant, the Chilean lantern tree. So the Chilean lantern tree is native to, you guessed it, Chile, and this is what it looks like. It's a very nice tree. It is often used for ornamental purposes, and it has these very nice, interesting looking red flowers. So the toxic compound in the Chilean lantern tree is called a curcubidican. That might be how you pronounce it, but it's also found in lower levels of lower doses in cucumbers and some types of gourds. So most parts, I'm pretty sure, of the plant are toxic. It can cause skin irritation and blisters if the sap gets on your skin, so if you touch any of the sap from it, from like breaking a branch or a leaf or something, it can cause like inflammation and blisters, which is not a good time. If ingested, so don't eat this, don't let your pets or children eat this, it can be toxic, leads to stomach problems like diarrhea and vomiting. It is actually occasionally used in folk medicine in Chile in much lower doses than is fatal. It's actually used as a medicine to induce vomiting, so if you ingest something else toxic and need to get it out of your system, very, very low doses of the Chilean lantern tree plant are used to induce vomiting to get rid of the other toxins, so multi-purpose. But in higher doses, it can cause unwanted vomiting as well as other stomach issues like diarrhea. Specifically, it can cause bloody diarrhea, which is never a fun time. And if it's high enough, it can cause liver and kidney damage, which is what can potentially prove fatal eventually, if in a high enough dose without any treatment. So here, very interesting plant that I actually did not know existed until I was scrolling through Wikipedia one day, probably drunk, because I don't actually remember adding this to my notes document.